I said I was not going to make another video of this movie because of the controversy. But these fuckers decided to make a review on that movie. So, I fucking hate myself. I decided, yeah, let me fucking do it myself. Yeah, it's been a couple months for me not posting or streaming on my YouTube channel. I made myself clear that I was not gonna do another video on this movie. It's because of this controversy going on, but because of these fuckers wanted to make this reviews on this movie, and some of the other fuckers convincing me to wanted to see this movie, I decided to watch this movie anyway, and oh my god, I wasn't a fan of it. Spider-Man Lotus actually taught us on how to make a boring Spider-Man movie. And it could be whether there is no fight scenes, whether it's comic accuracy, which I'm getting tired of this stupid damn argument by these people who are so mad about these new characters coming in Marvel Comics and all of that. And it could be anything if you want to talk about how boring this movie is. So, yeah, I just cannot believe I just waste my 1 hour and 45 minutes on this piece of dog shit. I mean, it's not bad, but I still want to call it dog shit, because considering of how bored I get, that at the half of the movie, like during the middle of the movie, I was falling asleep. Like, I'm not even joking. This is not the movie I want to see if I want to watch any of the Spider-Man fan films or any actual Spider-Man movies if you consider. So, yeah, get prepared as I'm gonna make a review on this boring ass film, because Jesus, I don't know what else to say. Oh my god! After a decent opening, we were able to see Spider-Man, you know, the usual stuff, fighting crime, like, you know, fighting these robbers, when all of a sudden we see Shocker. But in his...
Oh no! What? What are you wearing? It's my Shocker suit!
Yeah, let's say the Shocker suit looks pretty trash. And also, why is he using fingers? Why are we looking at his fingers? Is he going to touch blood or something? Like, I'm so confused right now. And then after that, we get to see Peter arriving late to see the movies with Gwen, MJ, and Harry.
It's fine. The movie wasn't that great anyway.
I bet this is Gavin's version of Gwen's response to the MCU Spider-Man films and the Spider-Verse films. So after seeing Harry convince Gwen to go with him, Peter and MJ to this, I think this dinner, I guess. They were having fun, at least, with the dinner, I guess. Like, you know, kind of worked out, supposedly. And then after all of this, we get a long opening title card sequence, which, goddamn, is so long. And I'm not sure if the artist who did this opening title sequence has gotten paid, because here's the thing. Like, I heard that Gavin did not pay the storyboard artist, like, for some reason, and I'm gonna be frank for a second here. There was a reason why he created this movie. It's all because he was pissed off about the writing of the MCU Spider-Man films, which it's probably not a good thing if you're gonna if this is the reason you want to make a Spider-Man fan project. Like, seriously. And even despite the fact that the movie is like around 100K, it's just, it doesn't even matter anymore, by the way, because considering that this movie is already a mess. Because again, controversy, the stiff acting, the writing that was on the wall, which is pretty terrible, and I could go on and on, but for now, let me get back to the movie. So after 5 long-ass minutes of this long opening title sequence, we get to see Peter see the news of how Spider-Man is probably responsible for Gwen's death, Captain Stacy's death, or Norman Osborn's death. Oh, you know, he's responsible. And then we get to see the title card, finally. We already know about the movie's name for obvious reasons. We then get to see, well, probably one of the most poorly written scenes where Peter and MJ are arguing in Gwen's grave. Yeah, when I think of Spider-Man, I think of him arguing with everyone, including MJ, because we should make him as Batman at this point.
So get to the point. Why are you here?
Because everything's a mess, Peter. I haven't seen you in weeks. Harry is gone. Nobody wants to go out with me anymore.
What, so you came to bug me about it?
No. I came by to see if you wanted to go to a party or something.
Party?
Congratulations, MJ. You do every one of the stupidest excuse just to make Peter get over Gwen's death. And that's getting to the party. Yep, Gwen's dead. Let's party and let's celebrate. No. just know.
The life of the party loses her spotlight and doesn't know what to do with herself.
That's not true.
It is true. You're so unaware of yourself, it's not even funny. You don't care about people like me and Gwen. She didn't live life like it was a constant game. Maybe if you took a second to think, you could have learned a thing or two from her. So leave. Hate to ruin your fun.
Oh my god, this bitch thinks he's Ultimate Comics Peter Parker. You wish, buddy. I can understand if he was bonded with a symbiote suit and acted like this, but this is not even a good excuse for its stiff writing and its stiff acting that's going on here. So yeah, I know that happened in the comic, but MJ just rather stays, and this is not pouring. So we get to the next scene where Peter saw Harry taking drugs, and he just said this.
It's about Gwen. Do you realize that? She just died. I know. Then where were you? Why didn't you show up?
Bitch, he just lost his father. He doesn't care about Gwen as of right now, alright? Cause he just lost his fucking father. Cause his father was the fucking Green Goblin. This is so messed up, man. It's just like, we're on into the rough start of 30 or 35 minutes. I think it's 30 minutes, I should say. It's on a rough beginning start on 30 minutes. Then we get to the scene of Peter's nightmares of Gwen, Goblin, and all of that shit that's happened recently. Gee, talk about 2 other nightmare scenes that are infinitely better than this, despite the fact that they're gonna be bonded with the symbiote suit. Then we get into the nice scene where Peter saw all the footage of him, Harry, Gwen, and MJ before Gwen's death, like, you know, before the incident happening. So, yeah, it was a nice scene, I know, at least, cause here's the thing, because I remember, like, I'll tell you this. I remember also seeing and also doing the same that Peter did by, checking some footage of my old friends and me. So, yeah, that scene looks pretty nice at all, although I will admit, the one critique I'll give out is that I would have put that scene in the beginning so that it will make a lot more sense for this film. And another critique I'll give out is this. Like, seriously, if you're listening to the movie and listening to the music of it, then ow! Now, I would assume that they probably used that ear rape music until the video ended right here. Like, but dude, seriously, ow. Then we get this nice scene where we got Harry, who is still taking drugs, just take a look at the world and started to understand why is he here. Which I can relate to that scene, because you do not know, like, where you're at right now and all that crap. Like, you know what I mean. Oh, I'm sorry if I gotta have to bring this up, but I think I heard from the actual news, I think the actual news or something like that, Gavin actually forced, like, the actor to play Harry Osborn to take actual drugs so they could shoot this scene as well as, you know, the other scenes with Harry Osborn, and I was like, what? Who in the right mind will think that giving someone drugs instead of actual, like, you know, something like candy that look like drugs is actually a good idea for this fan film. Like, while making this fan film I'm trying to talk about. Like, who? Is Gavin thinking that Spider-Man should be a rated R character? Just like Wolverine or something? Like, what the fuck? Okay, look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go all that route, but if you're thinking that that doing something like this is a good idea, then yeah, your career is gonna end. Like, no joke. Definitely. Then we get to this scene of Spider-Man having flashbacks of Gwen's death of him in his final fight with the Green Goblin. And let me just say, if you look at the Green Goblin suit, then you'll probably think that this is bad. And it is. It looks like if the 2002's prototype Green Goblin did not have a great suit. But I'll admit that this shot over here where the thunder appear like behind Spider-Man is pretty good. It's actually one of my favorite shots of the movie. Then, after a flashback of MJ and Gwen, which is alright, we get this great scene where Flash actually talks about Peter with MJ.
Even after everything I did to him, you know, all the pranks, the humiliation, whatever, he was still a friend to me when I needed him to be.
To be frank with you, I could care about Flash Thompson more than any other characters in this movie, by the way. Because I feel like this version of Flash Thompson, along with the TASM version of Flash Thompson, are both going to be one of my favorite Flash Thompson's versions. Like, no joke. Not even kidding. So here's the good stuff, at least. The good stuff is we're able to meet Tim, an actual boy with leukemia, which I can recall that from the comics. But still, we get this night scenes between him and Spider-Man, which is pretty nice. I loved it so much. That's probably one of the movie's greatest strengths, to be honest. Then we get to see Spidey see, like, whole merchandise of him, and even he was able to see some newspapers from the Daily Bugle for him. Like, you know, that's about him. Like, wow. That's actually pretty impressive, to be honest, not gonna lie. The first thing Spider-Man showed Tim is by showing him his web shooter and how they works, which looks pretty cute as usual. And while Tim tries to show Spidey all the figures of him, Spidey then sees this. This art that Tim make.
Is this you?
Yeah, it was a project for school. We had to draw our hero, but I didn't really know what you looked like.
Now, just for your information of this scene, basically, Spidey sees this art. Basically, what people try to say is that probably this scene is probably show that anyone can wear the mask, which I don't think that's the case, considering that Gavin has a huge dislike for Miles Morales. And this scene will probably be instead by seeing Peter checking on this art, probably reminding him of his early Steve Ditko era. But then, when Spider-Man plays a plug-and-play game of him called The Amazing Spider-Man The Masked Menace,
What happened to the girl on the bridge?
well, Tim, I feel like you should not have asked that question. We then start seeing Harry visiting his father's grave when...
He just doesn't have the spirit of an Osborn. No son of mine flunks out of high school. Crying again? Where's that going to get you in life? You're more powerful than most people on this planet, and you're wasting everything you have. You are not an Osborn.
Damn, you really gotta treat Harry like that? I know that his father treated Harry like shit, but damn, I never knew he wanted that on a whole number level by saying he's not an Osborn. Like, goddamn. But that's just me. But unfortunately, in the next scene, that's where this movie gets even worse. So we start out, this is enough. We start out with Spidey telling Tim about his origin story, which takes us back to the Amazing Spider-Man 15 Days, which actually looks pretty good. Like, not even gonna lie. Like, no, actually, like, I actually will agree that this looks pretty good. Like, seriously. I actually like of how he actually tells, like, you know, Tim, his origin story very clearly. And I also do like the Amazing Fantasy 15 suit. Actually, it looks pretty good. But then we get into one of the worst scenes, probably the most heartbreaking scenes that I will never forgive this version of Spider-Man for doing. After he tells Tim of what happened to his Uncle Ben, well, what happened to Uncle Ben, that's where things started to be actually worse. When Tim convinces Spider-Man that he is actually a hero, and when he tries to show him his scrapbook, that's when...
What's this?
It's a history scrapbook about you.
I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Wait, Spider-Man! Spider-Man, you can't!
Ladies and gentlemen, this version of the character is in the ranks of Marvel's Spider-Man 2017, the shitty Spidey from the fucking bootleg Marvel DVD, and maybe Spider-Man Tore Off the Dark. Cause this fucker was even a bitch to Tim. Peter spent an entire movie being a whiny bitch to everyone around him because of the fact that he lost Gwen. And what does he do to become a bitch to a kid? Leaving the kid. Just like arrogant assholes who hates kids would do in today's society. This is shown out of character. no debate. Out of character for Spider-Man 2 kids, to say the least. Which does not help that he acts more like Batman and even Cyclops than he does as Spider-Man. Unlike Encanto, where you feel bad for Mirabel, the main character, and Bruno, another character that's important for the story, you do not feel bad for the main character Spider-Man, and you always feel bad for the kid himself, Tim. You instead feel bad for Tim for getting treated like that by his favorite hero. And it's again due to the fact that Peter, throughout the movie, is whiny after we see Gwen. Definitely whining much about Gwen than Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. It's true to point that he acts like Fox's movie version of Cyclops, where he was done dirty and acts like a whiny bitch for Jean. You can go check out Super Fame's video on how to make a bad X-Men movie, as he talks some pretty great negatives about these films. I feel like these two should be friends, because of the fact that they have one thing in common: being whiny bitches about their dead girlfriends. And then we got the scene between Harry and MJ. To tell you the truth, I don't remember anything about the scene because I just fell asleep. My ass fell asleep during the scene until for like a couple minutes until the scene was fucking over. Like seriously, I've been falling a fucking sleep during the scene. Like no joke, not even lie, 100%, because of the fact of how much of these fucking long ass shots this was taken, bro. Like really, it's fucking no doubt that the Raimi films has better long-ass scenes than what this film is doing. Then we got the scene where Tim's mom actually convinced Spider-Man to actually go back to see Tim and actually make him feel better, which, to be honest, this is actually not actually a pretty good way just to continue on with this film. A very poor way, I should say. Like, him leaving the kid would have been a decent scene if he actually sees, like, an art of himself instead of just being convinced by Tim's mother for, just to get a poor way just to continue on with the film. So, Spider-Man apologizes to Tim of his behavior, and like most little kids do, Tim actually forgives Spidey, and he actually finally was able to show him the notebook that is based on, the usual news. Like, about him and how his societies were, all of that. And then you got one of the most greatest scenes, the only great scene about this movie. That is Peter and Tim's goodbye, or Peter revealing his identity to Tim, which I shared the same expression with the kid. Not even gonna lie. Because this actually breaks my heart, actually. Like, out of all the mediocre and horrible scenes this movie has because of its bad writing, this is the scene that got me the most. That actually got me the most. Like, not even gonna lie. Like, I may not forgive Spider-Man for leaving the kid, as I fucking tell you before, but I actually still am actually teared up with that scene, actually. But then, when Spider-Man says goodbye to Tim, hearing those beeps actually tear me up, and it probably kind of reminds me of Aunt May's death in the Spider-Man PS4 game, which I also teared up as well. And then we got an apology scene. Like, let's say we got an apology scene between Peter and his friends. And if I were one of Peter's friends, I'll probably not forgive him, nor say sorry to him. Like, I probably would not forgive him, just like of how I would never forgive Abuela for treating Mirabel like shit in Encanto. Off topic here, but yes, I'm also one of other Mirabelle fans who said that Mirabelle should have run away at the end of the film because I'm sick and tired of all this happy Annie say, "Oh look, everything's worked out, everything's great, everyone's happy." And that could be one of the reasons why this is not doing good with their recent animated projects. And especially a stupid job of them trying to not pay actors and writers because fucking AI is taking over the world right now. But back to the movie. You know, if I have two major choices on what to do to say sorry to Peter, I'll probably just not say sorry nor forgive him, as I said before, because of how he was being a whiny bitch throughout the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, you know I didn't mean what I said at the cemetery.
No. It was a wake-up call.
Yeah, but in a bad way, I like the Spider-Man Blue comic. And unlike the comic and the final scene with him, this scene does not hit as hard, by the way. And what did Peter do instead of say goodbye to Flash at the celebration? Yeah. Look familiar?
All you have to do is look. Up in the sky.
Yeah, that movie's pretty trash. And so yeah, that is Spider-Man Lotus. I still like the VFX and the music of the 90s cartoon though. So, as of making of this video, I can confidently say that Spider-Man Lotus not only taught us on how to make one of the most boring Spider-Man films of all time, but also how to be an actual bad person, just like a lot of morons in today's society. Like, for real. Like, seriously, like, that's the thing. This movie taught us on how to be a bad person. Just like, not only Warden Wade's Peter Parker, but also like other characters that are actually bitches. Like, I don't know, maybe either a Blow Magic Gal or fucking Fox's movie version of Cyclops or Format Spike for the fucking Mario movie or Gwen and Anya for the piss poor 2017 Spider-Man cartoon or maybe, I don't know, like what else? Oh yeah, right, I got it. The goddamn Batman! No, not the actual character. I don't mean like the actual character of Batman. I meant this version of the character where he gets so angry all the time that he got mad at one of the other Batmans for eating nachos.
Batman does not eat nachos!
Now, I will admit that the idea, or maybe the concept of the kid who collects Spider-Man story taking place after Spider-Man lost his girlfriend, like that in this movie, Gwen Stacy, or maybe when you think of other girlfriends, like Mary Jane, I don't care. It seems like pretty nice, but not when you have, like, this movie, not when this movie has stiff acting, the writing being off the wall, some of the awful costume choices for the characters, and the main character being an absolute dick to everyone. I could go on the list to say that every single movie is better than Spider-Man Lotus, but I won't waste your time with that crap. So, instead, I'll try to give you, like, you know, some fan film recommendations for Spider-Man instead of this piece of shit. And I'll show you. Spider-Man Cake Day, although it's very short, it actually takes place in the 60s, which actually is accurate to the 60s Spidey books, and it actually understands the character more than Spider-Man Lotus. Such a great fan film, I recommend it to all you people. A Friend Called Spider-Man is basically a heartwarming movie of Spidey trying to help a suicidal girl, and although there's no fight scenes, I'm gonna be pleased to report that this version of Spider-Man is a lot more nicer than Warden Wayne's Spider-Man. Spider-Man Power and Responsibility by Lonely Spider is actually a great fan film. It's basically Spidey in his primitive years on being the web swinger fighting out the Sinister Six, and this, along with Insomniac, or Insomniac if you want to make an option, should have been what MCU Spider-Man should follow, rather than being a whitewashed Miles Morales and Marvel and YouTube Kids Spider-Man. At least this concept of him being a sidekick is better than Lotus itself. Marvel Knight Spider-Man. I personally remember this. It talks about a very great narrative for Spider-Man that Lotus had ever done. Spider-Man Lives, a Miles Morales story, shows us how Miles tries to live out the legacy of Peter Parker. So yeah, this has a lot more charm, and the execution of the action scenes are pretty well done. Miles Morales' final day shows Miles and Gwen taking on Morin as they set out for, the war of Spider-Verse, which is fun and, it's pretty entertaining. The Amazing Spider-Dad is basically a movie made for tribute for his son Jaden after he died of a few month battle with cancer, which it sucks, but hey, this movie it's pretty cute and it shows a lot of heartwarmness, and I actually like that movie. Also, making this Spider-Man movie in tribute to your son is a far understanding and better reason than just making a Spider-Man movie because you do not like that version of the character. Rest in peace, little buddy. Now, I know that there are other fan films that are out there, but hey, I'm not gonna go too long so I don't want to waste my space on my phone, even though I still have half the space left, but still. But anyways, as I'm trying to say is that, yeah, all of these fan films are better than Spider-Man Lotus. Like, no doubt, 100%. Spider-Man Lotus taught us how to become a bad person. And it has long-ass shots with less dialogue, like it was trying to be the Raimi films or the Smallville series. And it does not even hit as hard as these two. If you're looking for a Spider-Man fan film, like an actual good one, this is not a good recommendation. Go check out the other ones I already put out, because this film not only taught us, as I said before, how to be arrogant assholes in today's society, but also how to make a Spider-Man film that feels more like Batman and Cyclops than Spider-Man. And no fun like Iceman. Yep, that's it. Like, for real, that's it. Yeah, no more talking about Spider-Man Lotus again. I'm fucking sick of it. Oh my god. But hey, was it worth it? Absolutely not. It was not fucking worth it. That's all I'm just gonna try to say, alright? I'd rather watch any of these Spider-Man projects than see this shit. God, I'm sick and tired of this. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think, and I'm gonna be out of here. Goodbye.